Hi, I'm Dan. Welcome to my shop. Thanks for buying a Quilpo chair. I'm going to help you get it set up. So you're going to need very few tools. A screw gun, a drill, a cordless driver if you have one, but it's not necessary. You can also go with a hand driver. In fact, it's good to have a hand driver anyway. And a hammer, and this small block of wood that you're going to find packed in with the furniture. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make a space in your living room to set this up. Clear a good amount of space out. It's great to have a carpet. I have one here in the shop so that nothing gets scratched while you're putting it together. You're going to lay the box down with the address side up, and you'll see that it's completely ringed with screws. You can take those out with your driver or by hand if you don't have one. You'll unpack the box, which I've already done, and you'll separate your pile, everything up. You'll see that the all the separate pieces, these for example, will be labeled Ottoman or chair. You'll have a seat and back for the rods, and they'll be in separate packages and labeled. So keep that all together. Clear your space again. We'll get rid of the box and we'll start putting it together. So I've already unpacked it. I just put the box here so you can see. Get rid of this. Let's start with the Ottoman, if you've got a set. If not, we go straight to, you'll skip this part and go straight to the chair. So the Ottoman is smaller, it's easier to put together, and it's a good start. The other one's a little bit more difficult. It's nice to have the practice of doing the Ottoman first. If you have it, if not, it's not a big deal. The sides have wedges dangling. The side that has the wedge dangling is the outside. The side with the knot is the inside. They're halfway through like this to take up less space in the flat pack. When you're ready to put it together, you can pull them out so that the knot sits flush against the wood on both sides. And we will put them in order. There we go. This will sit like this. The chair will be here. And you're going to see there are two cross pieces. One of them is signed. The signed piece is going to go on the high side facing in, just like this. And the other one will go on the other side. It doesn't have a signature or any writing. It can go either way. You'll see that there's a larger hole on one side and a smaller hole on the other so that the wedge fits in and tightens everything down. The larger hole needs to go up. And these are marked with a black dot to show you. I just said that it didn't matter which way. I've already made the decision in the construction route which way it should go, so you try and follow that. You'll see there's a black dot marked right there on the tenon's shoulder and another black dot that corresponds here. So we're going to put that in. We can do one half at a time. We'll put this guy in here. This has two black dots and it's touching the space here that shows two black dots. Same thing for the other side. We'll fit this in here. And we'll put the wedges in. Now, the wedges have a right angle and an acute angle at the top. You want that acute angle to be pointing out and the right angle towards the wood. This way you get a nice flat surface to tap the wedge in with. So we're going to place that in there. I'll come around to this side. Perfect. Here's where you're going to use that little block that I've included so that we don't mark anything up by banging on it with a metal hammer. You're going to put the block right over that wedge and just tap it in. Just a little bit. It doesn't have to, you don't have to kill it. And if they ever loosen up, you can always tap them back in. It might occasionally loosen with change of humidity, and as the year progresses from fall to winter, spring and summer, different amounts of humidity in the air, the dimensions change a tiny little bit to loosen up the wedges. It's not a problem, just bang it back in. Okay, got the structure. Now we'll go get the leather and we'll put it in. I've set the leather aside. In the case of the Ottoman, it can go either way. I'm going to do your side first so you can see how that works, and then come around to this side. Just fit the tabs through. Fit the tabs through the slots. Then we're going to use one of these leather pegs that was marked Ottoman. It'll come in a little package that says Ottoman. You'll see that it's got a right angle on one side and I guess it's an obtuse angle on the other. We'll have that angle towards the back so that it sort of matches the fall line of the leg of the Ottoman. Just slide that in from here. And do the same thing on the other side. You can see from that angle how I squeeze them in. If it doesn't go in right away, you can try jiggling it up and down, back and forth, wiggling it until it gets in there. The fit is tight. It's good. Same thing, the angled side goes with the fall of the lower end of the Ottoman. You can put them through, starting at either side is fine. Okay, there we go. Let's move on to the chair. The chair is easier to put together with two people. It's possible with one. I'm going to do it myself, but if you have somebody to help you, that's great. Same story with the sides. We've got these wedges that are halfway through. You want to pull them out so the knot is flush against the inside. I'll set this up facing the camera. We've got another leg here. I'm pulling that tight and setting it down. I've got them opened up. Now we've got to put these separators. These are hard to confuse because one is signed and it's got angled shoulders, and the other one is much longer, and on the inside it'll say Argentina, the year, and the number. We want where it says Argentina and the number to face in, and we want the signature to face out in the back. So what I like to do is set this up. Well, this is the signature piece. The larger hole is pointing up to accept the wedge. And I'm looking at the signature right here, like that. And on this side, we're not going to show where it says the number. We're going to keep the number on the inside. Slide it in place. This can be tricky with one person. There it goes. And we're going to set those wedges in the same way we did for the Ottoman, keeping the right angle up and towards the side of the chair. When you do that, you'll see that the knot always falls in the same place. In this case, the toggle swings down and then the knot is up. If it were coming from the top, you'd know you had something a little bit wrong. Not a big deal. Knot faces forward. Yep. There we go. Knot facing forward. And we're going to tap these in the same way we did with the Ottoman. Hammer. Any hammer will do, and that little block. Now, if you'd ever like to take it apart again for a move or something like that, you can use the same block or another block, because you may have lost that by then, and tap it back out this way. Otherwise, you can just leave it together. Great. Go get the leather. The leather for the seat does have a direction. It's much wider on one side than on the other. You can see that. This will be the seat, and this is the top of the backrest. I like to lay that in. like to start with the backrest. But before we begin, let's choose the dowels that will hold the leather in place. They're not wrapped in this case, but you'll receive them wrapped, and one package will say seat back and one package will say seat. So let's take the seat back ones, which are longer. You can hold it up against the side and see which side you like better, if there's a difference. In this case, there's not. And I like to make sure that when I hold it up against the side, it covers all the holes. If you flip it, it kind of doesn't fit over all the holes evenly. You can see a little bit of light through the holes. Let me turn this chair so you can see that on the camera. It's very hard to get it to cover this way. That's not the way it goes. It goes this way. So that it covers all the holes nicely. Okay, so that said, let's start putting it together. I like to start with the topmost tab. This is going to be a lot easier working on the floor, and I may have to climb up on the table to do this. It would be inelegant. We'll see. There we go. As the tabs come through, I like to push this down just so that they don't fall out again. Holds them in place nicely. Good. That's one side. That is the easy side. I like to ship them nice and tight across the top. So sometimes it's difficult to get that second rod in. If you're having difficulty, you can always loosen these wedges up a little bit and have someone help you push these together so you have some more space to play. There's that. And you know, I forgot to check which way this goes. So we can check up against here. That's beautiful. And we'll start putting it in. Like I said, you wiggle it to get it in there and it'll go. I've definitely assembled everything before shipping, so it's absolutely possible to get it together. And if you ever have an issue, do feel free to contact me and I can help you through. We can FaceTime about it or video chat. I'll help you get it together. Right up here on the table. And for the seat, same thing, work from the front. And let's choose our dowels so that they cover the holes nicely. This one works fine. As the tabs come through, I like to leave the dowel in to hold them in place. Make sure we have the orientation right. Yeah, covers those holes nicely. There it is. Quilpo Sling chair, ready to go. Thanks again for purchasing, and we'll be in touch. Take care.